Rossi versus Murray in a Senate race,
where the mudslinging has already begun.
Mr. Rossi apparently doesn't understand the job.
I respect Senator Murray, but her ideas don't work.
Well, if you think Eastern Washington votes don't matter, consider this. Tonight, for the first time since election night, candidates for U.S. Senate addressed voters, and they did so right here in the Spokane area.
Incumbent Senator Patty Murray won the primary with a 46% to 33% lead over Republican challenger Dino Rossi. Political experts say this race is one of two top races to watch this fall. KXLY4's Colleen O'Brien and Erik Loney spoke with the candidates in Spokane today. We begin tonight with Make It Election coverage with Colleen O'Brien and the Murray campaign.
This crowd of 200 came out early this morning to hear Senator Patty Murray make her case for her re-election. It was a mix of diehards to independents looking for a reason to swing left, and even a few protesters.
As three members of the Spokane Patriots Tea Party stood protesting Senator Murray's arrival inside.
She's one of the best senators. I know she hates to brag about herself, but she's just a gem.
At 8:15 sharp, she got right to task, making a bid for 6 more years.
It's no different for me today than it was many years ago when I first ran for the U.S. Senate in my tennis shoes.
While the three-term senator holds a comfortable lead in the primaries, she knows the general election will be a tough race. Still, she shrugs off the anti-incumbent fervor.
I've heard that every election, and I'm doing the same thing I always do. Go out and talk to people, tell them about what I believe in, what my passions are, what I care about deeply, and my vision for the future.
She's been accused of wasteful spending, yet continues to support the financial reform bill.
How are you going to sell Washington State on also supporting this bill?
On the Wall Street reform bill, I've got to tell you, people everywhere are telling me that we had to slap Wall Street upside the head for what they'd done. And that's exactly what we have done with this legislation.
This morning, a Seattle Times story found Dino Rossi's campaign has falsely accused Murray of voting for every spending bill since 2004.
I've not seen the article, but I do know that it is my responsibility to help write the nation's budget. And when you're in the majority, that's what you do.
If she wins her 4th term, she says she'll fight for jobs, education funding, and Eastern Washington.
Middle-class families like all of you need a break, and that is who I will fight for in the United States Senate.
Colleen O'Brien, KXLY4 HD News.
And Murray's challenger in this race also kicked off his post-primary campaign in Eastern Washington. He says even though the eyes of the nation will be on this Senate race, it's the voters in the small towns who will be crucial in November. KXLY4's Erik Loney explains the Rossi campaign.
The experts are calling this race a toss-up at this point that could end up determining the balance of power in the Senate.
Washington, D.C. needs some adult supervision.
On primary election night, Dino Rossi stood in front of a banner that read, "Restore the dream, control the spending." He told supporters financial mismanagement is ruining the country and it's time for a change.
Now, I respect Senator Murray, but her ideas don't work.
Murray easily won the primary with 46% of the vote to Rossi's 34%. But Rossi says the fact the three-term senator did not win a majority shows he's in a position to win.
Election night was a great night. Honestly, what happened was 54% of the people in the state of Washington said to the senior senator that we don't want to give you another 6 years to raise our taxes and grow government.
Rossi says the economy, the size of government, and creating jobs will be central themes of this election.
What needs to happen, as being a small businessman, I understand what needs to happen. It's not more government. What it is you need modest taxation, fair and predictable regulation, so small businesses can plan 3, 5, and 10 years down the road. They can't even plan 2 weeks down the road because they don't know what their government's going to do to them.
This will be Rossi's 3rd statewide race. He lost the last 2 for governor. He says he considered not running because of the strain on his 4 kids, but his wife encouraged him to run again.
My wife just said, I really appreciate that you're worried about us, but you got to think about this on a different level. What kind of country are we going to leave our children in? You're in a position to go do something about this, so if you're willing to do it, I'm willing to support you 100%, is what she said. And so here I am.
This race promises to be bruising and expensive. Patty Murray's already raised $12 million towards her re-election, and Dino Rossi has already raised $1.5 million in just the first month of his campaign. In Spokane, Erik Loney, KXLY4 HD News.
For the latest numbers on all the races and more Make It Count coverage, just click on the Make It Count banner on the top of the homepage on KXLY.com.